Imagine trying to drink from a cup while the water inside trembles from every slight movement. That's what your mind becomes when worry takes control, unsteady, reactive, and unable to hold peace. One thought spills into another, and before you know it, you're drowning in possibilities that haven't even happened. As the great Buddha once wisely said, "The mind is everything. What you think you become." You lie awake, replaying mistakes, predicting disasters, preparing for storms that may never come, and in doing so, you miss the only moment that ever truly exists, now. Buddhism doesn't offer you escape from worry, it offers you power over it. It doesn't promise a life without chaos, it teaches you how to remain calm within it. In this journey, you won't be taught to suppress your thoughts. You'll learn to observe them, to sit with them, to respond with clarity instead of reacting with fear, because when you learn to steady the cup, you no longer fear the ripples, and when you master a calm mind, worry will never master you again. 1. Let the storm pass through you. Worry is like a sudden windstorm. It stirs up your thoughts, shakes your emotions, and makes everything inside you feel unsettled. You start imagining worst-case scenarios, overanalyzing the smallest things, and losing touch with the present moment. But here's the key. The more you try to fight the storm, the more it pulls you in. Struggling against your thoughts only adds more tension, more noise, more suffering. Buddhism teaches a radically different approach. The wise mind doesn't resist the storm, it allows it to come and go. Just like the sky does not try to stop the wind, your awareness doesn't have to battle every thought, it can simply watch. When your mind is still, even while the world around you feels chaotic, you become like the eye of a hurricane, peaceful, clear and centered. Everything may spin around you, but you remain untouched. This means that when worry shows up, you don't need to push it away or label it as bad. Sit with it. Watch it like you would watch clouds move across the sky. Don't get caught up in the story. Just notice how it rises, stays for a moment and then fades. Every thought and emotion has a natural lifespan. If you don't feed it with fear or resistance, it will pass. By allowing the storm to pass through you instead of holding it back, you transform how you relate to your inner world. You stop being a victim of your emotions and instead become the space that holds them with peace. This is not weakness, it's deep wisdom. You don't need to conquer the storm, you just need to remember that you are not the storm. When you master this practice, you become grounded even in chaos. You will not be shaken by life's turbulence because you will have become the stillness within it. 2. Thoughts are not truths, just visitors. Our minds are like busy train stations, where thoughts arrive in endless carriages, some carrying true information, others freighted with fears and doubts. Yet, most of the anxious thoughts that rush through your mind are not messages of reality. They are simply passengers passing through. They knock at your door demanding attention, whispering warnings of disaster, but they hold no power unless you invite them in. Buddha taught that unexamined thoughts can become our greatest foes. When you hear an inner voice say, "You can't handle this," you might panic and believe it, giving that thought authority over your emotions. But what if you treated that voice like a passing traveler? You wouldn't build your home around every visitor. You'd let them stay only as long as necessary, then bid them goodbye. To practice this, begin by catching your thoughts as they arise. Pause and label them. Ah, here's doubt, or here's fear. Notice how they feel in your body, a tightness in your chest, a flutter in your stomach. Simply observe without reacting. You might even place each thought on an imaginary cloud and watch it drift away. This gentle detachment reminds you that thoughts are not commands. They're options you can consider and then release. Over time, you'll see that most worries have little substance. They are like letters dropped in the wind, often lost before they even reach you. By refusing to treat every thought as absolute truth, you reclaim the captain's seat of your mind. You choose which ideas shape your actions and which ideas you dismiss as noise. Remember, you are not defined by every thought you think. You are the awareness that holds them. And as you strengthen your ability to observe without attachment, your inner landscape becomes peaceful. Even when the train station of your mind is busy, worry loses its grip because it no longer finds a host willing to give it life. 3. Anchor yourself in the present moment. Worry lives in a future that hasn't arrived, pulling you forward into what-ifs and maybes. Yet peace resides only in the moment that actually exists. This breath, this heartbeat, this second. Buddhism calls this mindfulness, the practice of fully inhabiting the now so that your mind cannot stray into imagined fears. Think of your awareness as a spotlight. When it shines on the present, on the gentle rise and fall of your breath, on the soft sounds around you, on the simple feeling of your feet touching the ground, no shadow of worry can hide. You become engaged with life as it unfolds, rather than lost in stories your mind invents. To train this skill, begin with a simple exercise. Pause 2 or 3 times each day and take 3 deep, conscious breaths. Feel the cool air entering through your nostrils, the slight expansion of your chest, and the release as you exhale. Notice any tension melting from your shoulders. Name what you hear. Birds, distant traffic, the hum of a fan without judgment. Name what you feel. The texture of your clothes, the warmth in your hands. As you return your attention to these immediate sensations, you break the chain of worry. You interrupt the loop of anxious thinking and remind your mind, right now, I am safe. Right now, I am alive. This simple anchoring practice rewires your neural pathways, making it easier over time to catch yourself when the mind begins to wander. The beauty of anchoring in the present is that it can happen anywhere, in the shower, while walking, even during a traffic jam. Each moment you choose presence over projection, you weaken worry's hold and strengthen your capacity for calm. You become the calm within the storm. And when you practice this continuously, the present moment reveals its true gift, life itself, vivid and unfiltered, free from the haze of fear. Worry may still try to knock on your door, but you'll be too busy living right here, fully awake to let it in. 4. Accept, then act. Never the other way around. Worry often arises when you try to force control over what hasn't happened yet. You push against reality, gripping your anxieties so tightly that they only grow stronger. Buddhism invites us to reverse this process. First, fully accept what is, exactly as it is, then choose your response. Acceptance isn't passive resignation. It's the clear-eyed acknowledgement of your present experience. Only when you stop battling the moment can you see its possibilities. Imagine standing beside a flowing river. If you plant your feet and lean into the current, resisting its pull, you'll tire quickly, even risk being swept away. But if you relax, let your feet find their balance and allow the water to flow around you, you remain steady. This is the art of acceptance. The water of events doesn't overwhelm you because you've stopped fighting it. To practice this, begin by noticing the shape and texture of your worry. Where do you feel it in your body? What thoughts come with it? Acknowledge them silently. This is anxiety. This is fear. Breathe into that acknowledgement. No judgment, no shoulds. Then, once the mind is clear, ask yourself, what is one small, wise action I can take right now? It might be sending a brief message, taking a walk to clear your head, or simply drinking a glass of water mindfully. By accepting first, your decision emerges from calm clarity rather than frantic urgency. Consider this. You're worried about an upcoming presentation. Instead of ruminating on every possible mistake, you acknowledge your nerves. You feel the tightness in your chest and name it. Then, you choose to practice one section of your talk aloud. That single step, born from acceptance, shifts you from paralysis into purposeful movement. Over time, this sequence, accept, then act, rewires your mind. You no longer exhaust yourself fighting shadows of the future. Instead, you become someone who meets each moment with peace and then responds with intention. Actions born from acceptance carry quiet power. They ripple outward without the turbulence of fear. When you master this practice, your calm mind becomes a beacon in uncertainty. Worry may approach, but it will find no resistance to feed upon. Instead, it will pass, leaving you steady, clear, and free to act with wisdom. Worry often arises from a relentless inner voice that judges, criticizes, and condemns, whispering doubts like, "You're not good enough, you'll fail," or "Why are you even trying?" This inner critic breathes fuel onto the fire of anxiety, convincing you that every misstep is a catastrophe. Buddhism offers a radically different approach, not by silencing that voice with force, but by answering it with compassion. Imagine your mind as a garden. The inner critic is like a weed that spreads quickly, choking out flowers of confidence and peace. When you pull on the weed angrily, it often breaks off at the roots and grows back stronger. Instead, Buddhism teaches you to cultivate loving kindness, metta, toward yourself. You become the gentle gardener who nourishes the soil, tending even the unwanted plants with care until they wither naturally, replaced by healthy growth. Begin by noticing the tone of your self-talk. What words do you use when you think you've made a mistake? What images arise when you feel insecure? Pause in a quiet moment and listen without judgment. Just as you might observe a child caught in a tantrum, watch your inner critic with kindness. Label it if you like. "Ah, here is self-doubt again." This simple act of mindful recognition creates space between you and those critical thoughts so they lose their grip. Next, practice the formal cultivation of compassion. Sit comfortably, close your eyes, and bring to mind a moment when you felt inadequate. Feel the sensations in your body, the tension in your shoulders, the tightness in your chest, the quickening of your breath. Then silently repeat phrases designed to soothe, such as, "May I be kind to myself in this moment. May I accept myself as I am. May I give myself the love I need." Let these words wash over you like a warm breeze, softening the harsh edges of self-judgment. If tears come, let them flow. They are the body's way of releasing old hurts. Over time, these compassionate phrases will become an oasis you can return to whenever worry strikes. In daily life, transform criticism into encouragement. When you notice a self-defeating thought, "I'm so weak," ask yourself, what would I say to a friend who felt this way? You wouldn't berate them. You'd offer comfort and understanding. Use that same tone for yourself. Write a short, supportive note on your phone or in a journal. "Dear me, I see how hard you're trying, and that effort is worthy of respect. You're learning, you're growing." Keep these notes where you can find them when the critic's voice grows loud. Another powerful practice is the compassion break. Several times a day, during a coffee pause at the end of a meeting or while waiting for an elevator, place one hand over your heart and take 3 deep breaths. As you inhale, imagine drawing in acceptance. As you exhale, release blame. Feel the warmth of your hand as a reminder that you deserve care. Even 30 seconds of this simple ritual can reset your nervous system and weaken the critic's demand for attention. Compassion also thrives through action. Act as if you are already generous with yourself. Take small steps that demonstrate self-care. Offer yourself a favorite healthy snack when you feel stressed. Go for a mindful walk in nature to clear your mind, or set gentle boundaries by saying no to an extra commitment that overwhelms you. These actions send a clear message. I matter. My well-being matters. Each compassionate choice rewires your brain, making self-kindness the default response to worry. Over time, you will notice a remarkable shift. The inner critic's booming voice will quiet, replaced by a steady hum of encouragement. Instead of spinning into anxiety when challenges appear, you'll greet them with curiosity. What can I learn here? You will treat mistakes not as proof of failure, but as invitations to deepen your practice of self-compassion. Consider this real-world example. You receive critical feedback at work. The old pattern would be to ruminate on every negative point, creating a spiral of self-doubt that carries into evenings and weekends. Now, you pause. You acknowledge the discomfort in your body. You place a hand on your heart and whisper a loving kindness phrase. You remind yourself that feedback is information, not a verdict on your worth. From this compassionate stance, you choose one concrete improvement you can make, and you celebrate yourself for taking that step. Silencing your inner critic through compassion doesn't mean you never strive to improve. In fact, it fuels genuine growth. When the critic's voice is softened, you can hear your own deepest aspirations clearly. You become motivated not by fear of judgment, but by love for your highest potential. By embracing your vulnerabilities with kindness, you transform worry from an unwelcome guest into a teacher. You learn the language of your heart, where failure is a lesson and setbacks are temporary clouds. Every time you answer self-criticism with compassion, you rewire your mind toward resilience. The garden of your awareness grows richer with each gentle touch, until compassion becomes the most abundant blossom of all. When you master this practice, silencing the inner critic through compassion, you no longer need to armor yourself against every anxious thought. You become your own sanctuary, a source of unconditional kindness that stands firm even when outer circumstances shift. In that sanctuary, worry may visit, but it never takes up residence. 6. Detach from the outcome. Commit to the process. Worry often takes root when we become fixated on results, on that promotion, the perfect presentation, or a relationship unfolding exactly as we imagined. We cling to a future that may or may not arrive, and that very clinging breeds anxiety. What if I don't get the job? What if they don't understand my words? What if they walk away? Buddhism teaches that this attachment to specific outcomes is the source of much of our suffering. The more you grasp, the more you fear losing. To break free, you learn to devote yourself entirely to the process, the practice of each moment, while relinquishing control over the final fruit. Imagine an archer on a still morning. He raises his bow, draws the string, and fixes his eyes on a distant target. If he focuses only on the arrow hitting bullseye, his grip tightens, his breath quickens, and his mind races with what-if scenarios. But a master archer knows the arrow's flight cannot be forced. He must attend to every detail with calm precision, stance, breathing, aim, then release. Once the arrow leaves his hand, his only task is to observe without judgment. In the same way, you cultivate your actions with full presence, study for the exam, pour your heart into your speech, practice kindness, then release attachment to how it must turn out. Your energy flows freely without the constriction of fear. To begin, choose a simple daily activity, washing dishes, making tea, or walking. Consciously engage in each step. Feel the water's temperature. Notice the scent of the tea leaves. Observe the cadence of your footfalls. Resist the urge to rush to the end, the clean dish, the first sip, the arrival at your destination. Instead, devote yourself fully to each movement. When your mind drifts toward, "Did I wash thoroughly enough?" Or "Will this tea taste good?" gently guide it back. "I am here now. This is enough." Over time, this practice rewires your brain. You learn that true mastery lies not in achieving outcomes, but in inhabiting each moment completely. Another powerful exercise is the process journal. At the end of each day, take 5 minutes to write about one task you performed, no matter how small. Describe what you did, how you felt, and what you noticed. Then answer 2 questions. What part of this process brought me joy or learning? And how much of the outcome was actually within my control? This reflection highlights the richness of the journey and reveals how much worry we waste on factors beyond our grasp. As your journal grows, you'll begin to see a pattern. The process itself offers growth, regardless of the external result. In creative endeavors, this principle shines. An artist who paints with non-attachment enjoys every brushstroke, every color blending on the canvas, rather than fretting over gallery approval. A writer savors the click of each key, the formation of each sentence, without obsessing over bestseller lists. When you pour yourself into your craft without preemptive judgment, you unlock flow, that effortless state where worry disappears and creativity flourishes. Breathe into this teaching in meditation. Sit comfortably, close your eyes, and set an intention to practice without grasping. As thoughts of outcomes arise, will I make progress? Simply note planning or hoping, then let the thought dissolve like mist. Return to your breath. Each inhale and exhale an affirmation of process over product. 3 to 5 minutes of this daily will strengthen your non-attachment muscle, making it easier to apply off the cushion. Affirmations can reinforce your commitment. Silently repeat phrases such as, "I release what I cannot control," or "My purpose is my present practice." Whenever you feel tension mount, worry tightening around your chest, pause, place a hand over your heart, and recite your affirmation. Feel the release as you let go of imagined futures. Over time, detachment does not lead to indifference. Paradoxically, it deepens engagement. By freeing yourself from the fear of failure, you bring more courage to your tasks. Your efforts become more authentic, more creative, and remarkably more effective. When you relinquish the weight of expectation, you often discover better outcomes than you ever forced into being. As you integrate this lesson into everyday life, you'll notice worry losing its grip. Uncertain circumstances become invitations to practice non-attachment. You'll learn to move forward with calm confidence, rooted in the present moment and unburdened by what-ifs. This is the true freedom Buddhism offers, a mind at ease, fully engaged in the flow of life, where each step is both practice and reward. In the final revelation of this journey, you move from being trapped within your mind to becoming its sovereign observer. Worry holds power only when you identify with it, when every anxious thought feels like an unbreakable chain. Buddhism points to a deeper truth. You are not your thoughts. You are the awareness in which they arise. This awareness is the witness, silent, spacious, and unshakable. When you learn to rest as the witness, worry loses its grip entirely. Understand the prison of identification. Imagine watching a play unfold on stage, but believing you are the actor. Every line, every emotion seems utterly real until you step back, bow, and realize you've watched countless actors before. The problem is not the play, it's your belief that the drama is you. In daily life, when an anxious thought appears, "I'll never succeed, they're judging me," you instinctively merge with it. You become the worry itself. This is identification, and it locks you into cycles of fear. Cultivate witness awareness. Witness awareness is the practice of noticing thoughts and emotions without merging with them. Instead of, "I am worried," you learn to see, worry is present. This small shift creates a gap between you and your mental noise, and within that gap lies freedom. To train this muscle, set a timer 3 times a day. When it rings, pause whatever you're doing. Close your eyes if you can, and ask silently, what is happening right now? What thoughts, sensations, or emotions are present? Label them gently, thinking, planning, tension in shoulders. Then bring your focus back to one steady anchor, such as the breath or the feeling of your feet on the ground. Even 30 seconds of this witnessing practice rewires your mind to default to observation instead of reaction. The sky and the clouds. A classic Buddhist metaphor compares your mind to the sky, vast, open, and ever-present, and your thoughts to clouds drifting across it. Storm clouds may gather, block the sun, and shake the branches, yet the sky remains unchanged. Your awareness is that sky. It does not push away clouds or cling to clear skies. It rests as the unlimited space in which all phenomena appear and disappear. By remembering this metaphor throughout your day, perhaps by glancing at the sky or visualizing it mentally, you reinforce your identity as the witness. Practice during the storm. When real-life turbulence hits, a heated argument, a tight deadline, or a sudden fear, that's your chance to practice being the witness. Feel the rush of adrenaline. Notice how your heart races. Watch the story your mind starts to create. Instead of adding to the drama with your usual reaction, "I can't handle this," say to yourself, "This is fear, this is stress, this is just my mind telling a story." Now take a breath and shift into witness mode. You don't need to fix it right away or run from it. Your calm watching changes the energy. Fear turns into information. Tension becomes something you can observe. From this balanced place, you see clearly what really needs your attention and what's just mental noise. This deepens with meditation. Regular meditation is the space where the witness is revealed. Find a quiet spot, sit in a relaxed way, and pick something to focus on: your breath, body sensations, or just open awareness. As thoughts come up, just notice them. If you start following a thought like, "I need to remember to," you drift away again. Instead, gently bring your focus back to your anchor. With daily practice over time, you'll start to notice moments of clear witnessing. Thoughts come and go without shaking your peace. These moments show your true self, calm, untouched by fear, open and shining. Let witnessing become part of daily life. You don't have to sit and meditate only. While washing dishes, driving or walking, carry that same calm awareness. Feel the sensations in your hands, the vibration of the engine, the rhythm of your steps. Let your inner voice grow quiet and notice the clear awareness that begins to shine through. Even simple tasks can become doors to presence. This steady thread of witnessing weaves your moments into a calm pattern, making worry an occasional visitor instead of a constant presence, turning witnessing into compassion. As the witness grows stronger, so does your natural compassion for yourself and others. When you're no longer stuck inside your own worries, you can hold them gently with an open heart. You begin to see that everyone carries their own thoughts and feelings. This shared experience awakens empathy. When a friend feels anxious, you don't try to fix them. You just listen, holding space for their emotions. In this compassionate presence, both of you feel a sense of ease. Live with freedom. Over time, this practice becomes natural. You stay in witness mode from the moment you wake up to the moment you fall asleep. Worry might still pass by in your mind, but it can't take you over. You are the open sky, the quiet observer, the steady heart. From this wide and peaceful place you act with clarity, care, and confidence, free from what-ifs, and grounded in the deep stillness of presence. Use the witness journal to help anchor this practice. Keep a short daily journal as the witness. Each evening, write down what triggered anxiety that day. How soon did I notice it? What did I observe when I paused? How did witnessing shift my reaction? Look back on these notes each week. You'll notice your witnessing ability growing and the grip of worry fading. By staying in the role of the witness, you awaken to your true self, untouched by passing thoughts, no longer trapped by worry. This is the heart of Buddhist practice, not escaping storms, but finding the unshakable peace beneath them. When you live as the witness, worry can never control you again, because you'll always be the sky where it appears. On this journey, you've realized that worry isn't all-powerful. It's just a passing experience, shaped by how you relate to your mind. You've learned to let storms pass through you, finding stillness even in chaos. See thoughts as visitors, not commands you must follow. Stay rooted in the present moment. That's where life truly happens. Pause before you act. Turn tension into clarity. Answer self-criticism with kindness. Build a gentler inner world. Detach from results. Put your full energy into each step of the journey. Stand as the witness, free from the drama of anxious thoughts. When you bring these practices together, you stop chasing peace. You become its source. Every moment of mindful presence, every breath of gentle awareness expands the space where worry can no longer grow. You learn not just to survive storms, but to rest calmly at their center, still, clear, and whole. Carry these teachings into all parts of your life. Return to them often. When old fears rise again, meet them with patience. With steady practice, the peace you build will become unshakable. Worry may still knock, but it will never again take up residence in your mind. Thank you for walking this path. If these lessons have helped you, consider sharing this video, subscribing for more Buddhism insights, and continuing your own daily practice of presence. Always remember, the power to master your mind is already within you. Embrace it, and worry will never master you again.